Hey guys, it's Trick here. We're doing a Elementalist AutoBomber on a budget, and I'm going to showcase the build with the T14 map. As you can see here, I don't have gloves, belt, ring, or amulet because we're on a budget. I can't afford those items. So, let's get into it. Build is probably one of the funnest builds I've ever played. You just run into enemies and they die. It's that simple. If you like running into enemies and they die immediately, then you're going to like this build. How this is all happening is the Abraptus is killing enemies, and then it's proccing Herald of Ice. And then when the enemies die, it also is proccing Impulses. So Impulses and Herald of Ice is just instantly killing the entire pack. So that's how the build is working. So pretty much Herald of Ice and Impulses is doing everything. We use Herald of Ice, Herald of Ash, and Herald of Thunder, but really the star of the build is Herald of Ice. Herald of Ice is doing everything. Beyond just keeps spawning. Okay. So, just Beyond just keeps going. Alright. Really smooth build. Run into the enemy, it dies. Feels pretty good. For single target, we use 2 Poet's Pens and Volatile Dead. It's this build doesn't have the best single target in the world, but it's alright. It's enough to get the job done. That's for sure. Like you're not, at least you won't be here for 2 hours doing it. I have a video guide. I have another guide of this boss, this character with the same budget setup, without gloves, belt, ring, amulet. He can kill a tier 16 guardian. Like definitely, this build can do higher tier maps. It's not really meant to do higher tier maps, but it can do higher tier maps. Just like I'm one-shotting everything in this T14 map pretty much. The same thing happens in the tier 16 map. Everything there will get one shot too. Obviously the only difference between the maps is just the boss. But the main things that get it started is the main things for this build is Impulsa. Impulsa and Abraptus. Without these 2 items, the build just doesn't work. These are the 2 core items for the build. I have Doriani's. This is for a clear speed. I use this to clear the map, and I use Poet's Pens to kill the boss. And then I got Devoto's Devotion. It gives you movement speed. This build needs a lot of dex, so it has dex, it has movement speed. This build needs movement speed, it needs dex, so this helmet is definitely good for the build. You can use whatever you want, but I like Devoto's Devotion. You see the Herald of Ice mana reservation on the helmet. You do not need that. You do not need that at all. This build works without it. You don't need any helmet enchant. You use Herald of Thunder, Herald of Ash, and Herald of Ice. Now going over the gems, Herald of Ice is connected to increased area of effect, Ice Bite, added cold, added lightning. It's on a 5 link. It could do it without Ice Bite. It doesn't need Ice Bite. Ice Bite is just mainly there to give us frenzy charges for our phase run, and because our phase run makes us move faster, and then frenzy charges makes the phase run last even longer. So you don't really need Ice Bite. It's not there for damage. It's just there for the frenzy charge generation. In the Abraptus, you don't have to have these linked. The skills and the boots, you get added lightning, concentrate effect, and added cold damage. And I have Ice Bite in here again. You do not need Ice Bite. You can use anything you want. You can use Hypothermia, Innervate, whatever. You don't have to use Ice Bite. You don't have to use anything. All you really need is added lightning, added cold, and concentrate effect in the boots, and it'll work fine. And you got Call of the Brotherhood. Helps the build out. Converts the lightning damage into cold damage, which your lightning damage coming from your impulses, and just helps everything shatter. Just makes everything come together a lot more smoothly. And you got right here, increased movement speed flask, onslaught with immunity to freeze, Stibnite with immunity to curse. You know, you got your wise oak, and you got the life flask. These flasks, I would recommend you use these flasks. Onslaught gives you more movement speed. Stibnite, immunity curse, you know, all these flasks are pretty good. And you got the unearth in here. Greater multiple projectiles, body swap. That's it. All these three have to be connected in this Poet's Pen. And then you got fire penetration, concentrate effect, and volatile dead. All these needs to be linked in this Poet's Pen. So you got two Poet's Pens. And how this works is you just auto attack and then your Poet's Pens work. It just works. So you just hold down one button. It's that simple. And when you get gloves, because you're obviously going to use gloves, you would use greater multiple projectiles and frenzy. Instead of auto attacking, you would use frenzy. So it doesn't matter. You don't have to use frenzy, but it's better to use frenzy and greater multiple projectiles to proc your Poet's Pens. Poet's Pens proc by an attack. That's how that works. Just attack and it works. Going over the tree. You got the Elementalist here. This is, gives you penetration for using Herald of Ice, Herald of Ash, and all that good stuff, Herald of Thunder. So you want this, 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 and you want this for your Uber Lab. You want to get this last. And we got chance to freeze up here. So there's a lot of, you get chance to freeze because this build has 50% chance to freeze. You want this because when you want the enemy to be frozen, then they shatter, and then the entire pack dies. You want to have at least a good amount of chance to freeze. This build with the ice bites has 50% chance to freeze. That's all you need. You just run into the pack, they die. That's all you'll ever need for any map. And this increases your flash. It makes your flash stronger. It makes your flash last longer. This is really good. Increased area of effect. It helps your Herald of Ice. Helps your Herald of Thunder. And it helps your Volatile Dead. It helps everything. Increased area of effect is really good. So we got life, area of effect, life, area of effect, life. And then we got elemental damage. Over here, self-explanatory. It's just fire, cold, lightning penetration. Over here, more chance to freeze. And since we're elementalists, we're going to be igniting, shocking, freezing. So this gives all three. That's all we're going to be doing. Spiritual Aid is really good. This is a new addition to the tree. Any increases to minion damage also affect us. So increase the minion damage like this over here, increase minion damage. This works for us as well. So any increases to minion damage, not more minion damage. So more minion damage gem will not work for this build, but any increases to minion damage will work for us. And also over here, this is increase like attack speed also affects us, which is great. Because while we're picking up these minion damage nodes, there's attack speed along the way. So might as well put it to good use, you know? And that works for the Poet's Pens. So the more attacks you have Poet's Pens, the more the Poet's Pens trigger. So it's all good. Over here, you see empty jewel slots because we don't actually need them. This build is on a budget. They're just there for if you want to get more jewels, make the build better, it's there. But you don't actually need them. So right here, I wouldn't get this. Like the last things I would get, it would be this. This is last. This is last. This is last. All like this. This is mandatory. Like this. Everything else is mandatory. This no. This no. And this no. That's the last thing you get. And the jewels, we're going on a budget. There's only 2 stats on this jewel that we want. All res for our character, so we stay max res, and minion damage. That's all you need. This is a budget build. You can obviously get stuff better. You can get increased damage. You can get increased elemental damage, increased damage, minion damage, area of effect damage, life, all res, all that stuff would work for the build, but we're on a budget. We don't actually need that. As you've seen, I was doing a tier 14 map, insta-killing everything, and I'm only using like 3 or 4 jewels, and I have like I have other 4 jewels that I don't even have. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't actually need those. It makes the build better, but you don't actually need them. But that's pretty much all. Oh yeah, one thing I forgot. A lot of people ask me, why do I get this fire damage and fire res? Because the fire res helps us balance our wise oak. You always want to have your wise oak balanced. Like your wise oak, you always want to have it balanced because you get your fire, cold, and lightning resistance balanced. You'll get all the benefits of wise oak. So it's really good thing. You want your resistances, you want your cold, fire, and lightning to be balanced because this build does cold, fire, and lightning damage. So that's a very important. Oh yeah, and how it balance and how it works is because the Call of the Brother. Oh, I can't talk. Sorry, mouth's a little dry. Sorry about that. The Call of the Brotherhood gives you 15% cold and 15% lightning. This is the only resistance we have on our, on our build. So I got 15% fire right here. So they're all 15. So 15 cold, 15 fire, 15 cold, and 15 lightning. So our wise oak stays balanced. But other than that, that's pretty much it. If I missed anything, just let me know in the comments below. But I'm gonna take one good look at the tree so you guys can copy it. So stay here for a couple of seconds so you can copy that. Or go down here so you can copy this. And then go over here so you can copy this. Just gonna. You can pause the video and you can copy the build. You can copy the skill tree out. See? Alright. Take one more good look so you can copy the build, pause the video, and copy the build. And that's pretty much it. If I missed anything, just let me know in the comment section and I'll help you with anything I can. Hope you guys enjoy. See ya.